We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin. And in today's episode, guys, Bitcoin is just dollars away from a massive breakout. Luckily for the Bitcoin price, Bitcoin did manage to stay in its ascending triangle pattern over the weekend. And as you guys know, that ascending triangle pattern has an uptrend that gives us support right around $27,000 and gives us resistance at $28,545. And in this episode, I'm going to show you why that ascending triangle pattern actually is an ascending triangle pennant with a price target many thousands of dollars higher than where we are right now. There are a plethora of different long-term technical factors coming into play to show us that we are going to be having a massive breakout over the next 3 to 6 months in the bullish direction. I firmly believe that we'll be trading in the $30,000 region relatively soon, but we're going to have to get there first, and the way that we get there is what we've been analyzing here on the Coffee and Crypto. Now, if you watched last weekend's video on Saturday, I talked about how Lux Algo was giving us a price prediction with pretty much a guarantee of over $70,000, because every single time in history that Lux Algo has ever flashed a buy signal on the weekly chart that's been confirmed, and that happened about a month before the halving cycle came in, the actual halving took place, Bitcoin would go into a rally and at least double its previous all-time high. That prediction would put us at $150,000 for the next bull market. So there are a lot of different factors that are coming into play right now to bring us the concept that Bitcoin is doing very well right now. We're going to roll up our sleeves and get ready to dive right on into it, because I got a real good feeling about today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. All right, let's see who's in chat. We've got Wisely T in chat, said, "Happy Monday, Jebb. Idea for this Saturday's video, your response to the first 30-ish minutes of Line Goes Up video." By the way, I drink coffee every once in a while now, but as you guys know, I stopped coffee. So welcome to Agua in Crypto. I mean, I suppose we need to stay hydrated, so make sure to grab a nice, refreshing glass of water or coffee if you're a coffee drinker, if you're a coffee connoisseur and consumer like I kind of miss being right about now. As far as that idea, I would love to watch that video. I'm going to be totally honest with you, Wisely T. I want to watch that video. The problem is we have been so busy getting ready for the baby, and the last 4 days we've been sure baby's coming today. And then the baby doesn't come today. And then the next day, which, you know, would be Saturday, the baby's coming today. Baby didn't come today. All right, and then Sunday comes around, and we're sure, like, there's so many signs, baby's coming today. We got to get ready, hospital, all of that. And then baby doesn't come today. So it's been a little bit of kind of sitting on the edge of our seat on a knife's edge over the last couple of days, waiting for baby to come. So after she comes and we kind of settle into a new routine, I'm definitely looking forward to watching that video. And Wisely T, feel free to keep bugging me about that video. Not in a spamming way, but don't forget, don't feel bad about reminding me, because I definitely want to check it out. Alex Nibo in chat said, "Good morning." Rocket Metal News in chat said, "Good morning." Silas E. Borg said, "Aye, morning, dudes." Spiced it up a little bit. Oh, Mize in chat said, "Good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend." Hashtag FinSolve. If you guys don't know, FinSolve is kind of the mission of this channel here. That's what I want to help you guys achieve. Financial sovereignty is the concept of having total and complete control over your own finances so that you are able to do whatever you're supposed to be doing in your life without finances being the center of your life. You see, in the American and Western culture, we put our business, our money, our income, our expenses, our accounting, our finances at the center of our life. We build everything else around our finances. The way that I see it is I think that your finances and the way that you generate those finances should actually be in orbit around the most important thing in your life. And for me, that's the Lord Jesus Christ, and then it's my wife, and then it's the rest of my family, and then sure, then a big part of what I do is the ministry that I do here on YouTube by teaching you guys about crypto and then sharing the gospel through it. But I don't think that finances should be the center of our life. I think that they should be a supporting factor for whatever is the center of your life. And that's where I want to teach you guys what financial sovereignty is. Let's give a couple more shout outs, then we're going to jump straight on to CoinMarketCap. You guys have been really enjoying those Saturday videos, and I think some of you guys have also been enjoying those Sunday videos. So tell me what you think. I'm really excited for that new content strategy and for bringing that kind of content. It's so much fun to edit. Tell me if you guys are liking the intros. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, Jebb. Good morning, all. Hashtag BTC. Hashtag FinSolve. Indeed. Mike Lowry is in chat, said, good morning. Hashtag FinSolve. Amen. Carter Mason said, about to buy Bitcoin and crypto. Jebb notification pops up. Boom. I think the viewership on those Saturday videos is causing more people to get notifications for the stream, because I actually got a notification for my own stream for the first time this morning. YouTube is not, obviously I have the notification bell turned on. I'd like to know when I'm going live, and it never gives me a notification, but it just did. Silas Borg said the bedrock will endure. Justin Banks in chat said, good morning, Jebb. NFT Shell said, destroy that like button, guys. Let's show Jebb some love. Thank you so much, NFT Shell. We've got Jeremy Shorter in chat as well. We've already got 300 people watching, guys. If you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell, and set it to always notify you, because they actually do give you a setting in there, although it doesn't work because YouTube wants to tell you how to use YouTube rather than letting you tell YouTube how to use itself. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump onto CoinMarketCap. Oh no, this is a good teaching moment. Check this out. In fact, I just need to check something really quickly here. Do I have, you can see me. All right, good. Sorry, I thought I had that turned off when I recorded the last week's video. All right, you can see that CoinMarketCap looks a little bit like, my eyes, you know, and if for any of you guys who are old enough or whatever to have seen there's that one episode where the guy's like, oh my gosh, my eyes. That's what I'm thinking when I see light mode CoinMarketCap. So just make sure to go up here and hit this button right here to change it to dark mode so your eyes don't burn. Then come down here to customize, because I'm showing you this because CoinMarketCap reset on me. You can see that CoinMarketCap by default shows you change on cryptocurrency prices over 1 hour, 24 hour, and 7-day intervals. I normally like to have it on 24 hours, 7-day, 90-day, and year-to-date, and then I just drag and put these right here so they're all in alignment. You can set up your CoinMarketCap however you want. That's just how I set it up, and that's how you can manipulate the factors over there. By the way, we've already got a super chat. Brock W donated $10, said a few bucks because those diapers aren't cheap. Thank you, Brock W. I really appreciate that. In fact, that reminds me of something. We were thinking about putting our baby registry on the YouTube channel. So tell me if you guys would be interested in that, because, you know, babies, they need a lot of stuff. They need a lot of stuff. So tell me if you guys would be interested in us uploading that. Anyway, going back over here to the cryptocurrency market capitalization charts. Oh, and by the way, I don't even think I said it. Thank you so much, Brock W. I appreciate that. That is absolutely true. Bitcoin is trading at $27,729. It's down 1.29% over the last 24 hours. It's up 65% in the last 90 days and up 66.59% year to date. Expect both of those numbers, the 90-day and the year to date, to look pretty similar because, well, the beginning of the year was almost exactly 90 days ago today. Ethereum is sitting at 1757, up 45% over the last 90 days and year to date. XRP is our only gainer in the last 24 hours on the 24 hours. I'm sorry, XRP is the only gainer over the last 24 hours in the top 10, whereas everything else has been having a little bit of a rough time of it. I'll show you today why that's not necessarily the end of the world. I mean, obviously it's not the end of the world, but why it's not necessarily that bearish, because I think we're having a little bit of a healthy correction, but we'll see where that goes here in a little bit. In fact, many things in the top 10 are actually still down over the last 7 days. But as you can see, they're only barely down. Bitcoin's down 0.84%. Ethereum is down 0.55%. You can see that XRP is up 26.5% and Cardano's up and Dogecoin's up, but then you get to Polygon and it's down. So quite a lot of the top 10 is down over the last 7 days. One thing I want to show you here is that Bitcoin's market dominance is continuing to rally higher. You can see that there is a massive shoot up going on Bitcoin's market dominance, especially since about January. You can see here, January 7th, Bitcoin's market dominance was below 40%. Right now, it has jumped all the way up to 46.15%. If you scroll in even closer, you'll be able to see that it's been plateauing up here around 46.5% for the last week and a half. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin absolutely went on a massive tear about a week and a half ago as a result of the huge rally that we saw post CPI. Now, what I want to draw your attention to today on the Bitcoin chart is very, very specific. I want to show you why Bitcoin could rally another $5,000 or so, and that rally could be coming in relatively soon. Excuse me, I may have to take a few sips of water to clear my throat today. I am still, I think I have allergies or something. I'm not sure. It feels like I just have a never-ending cold. Not exactly sure why. That might just be the kids. Anyway, Bitcoin is in a huge ascending triangle pattern right now, and that's what we want to draw attention to today, because as you guys know, Bitcoin jumped into a massive rally March 10th, 2023. And when Bitcoin began that massive rally the day later, on the 11th of March 2023, it rallied explosively. And then on March 13th, 14th, when the CPI data drop came in and we saw a 0.4% drop on CPI, we saw Bitcoin blast even higher. We blasted straight through 25,236, and we also broke above 28,545. Not exactly in the most conclusive way, but with quite a lot of strength. Now, there's something very specific here that I want to show you that is different about this month than last month. In February, Bitcoin rallied all the way up to 25,236, which was our critical level of resistance at that time. We did put a few chinks in the armor above 25,236, but nothing very substantial. We broke up above there for the span of a few minutes, and we only broke at most about $30 above 25,236. I remember when we watched Bitcoin break above this level right here, we were actually live on Coffee and Crypto, and it was just a little bit of an anticlimax because Bitcoin managed to break up above 25,236 right here. As you can see, this was at the 11 o'clock hour, so I believe we were actually live watching that. If I remember correctly, you can go back to whatever Coffee and Crypto was up on Thursday, the 16th of February, and look. But Bitcoin just didn't manage to really stay up there. And the other thing is that Bitcoin actually was in an ascending triangle pattern at this point in time. Ignore this ascending level of resistance for this period for the chart for just a second, and you'll see we were in an ascending triangle pattern as well. Now, things are a little bit different this time. At least they are for now. We're going to have to see if they stay different, but at least for now, things are a little bit different and in a good way. As you can see, in February, we saw the CPI data print come in, and it was relatively weak. We only saw a 0.1% drop on CPI. Bitcoin managed to rally all the way up to 25,236 on that news, but then it fell out of its uptrending level of support. Well, now Bitcoin has had a 0.4% CPI data drop, smashed a huge local level of resistance at 25,236. If you don't know, that is the level that is constituted by the high that we set on the 14th of August, 2022. That level defines and denotes the beginning of the transitionary zone, which if you watch the video we uploaded about 2 weeks ago, titled, what did I call it? How a clock will send Bitcoin to $50,000. If you watch that video, then we showed you this chart right here, and this transitionary zone that transitions Bitcoin away from accumulation, which you can see denoted in this color down here, and transitions us into our pre-halving phase of the bull market, which you can see denoted in this color right here. The bottom of that zone is at 25,236. The top of that zone is at 28,545. I already showed you where 25,236 comes from. 28,545 comes from the local low that we set as support, and it doesn't show up exactly at 28,545 on this chart, but it shows up on different charts here on the 22nd of June, 2021. Bitcoin's transitionary zone thus is as follows: 25,236 to 28,545. Bitcoin has already broken through one of those levels of resistance, and in a much more significant way than in February, Bitcoin broke through 28,545 this month as well. In fact, we close multiple hourly chart candlesticks up here. Bitcoin closed, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 hourly chart candlestick closes up there, and then a fifth right here. There are 5 hourly chart candlestick closes up there, and there are 3 hourly chart candlesticks where the entire body is above the level of 28,545, which is wonderful. That is phenomenal. It doesn't mean that we've broken it, but it does mean that we've tested it, and it does mean that we've put quite a lot of pressure into it. The question on our mind now, and this is where either this title of this stream is going to be prophetic or it's going to age like spoiled milk. Does Bitcoin hold this uptrending level of support? Because the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is in one of the biggest ascending triangle patterns that acts as a bull pennant that I've witnessed in a very long time. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've seen an ascending triangle pattern that acted bullish in this capacity occur, and there was actually strong evidence that it was going to end up leading us into a bull market, or into a rally of any kind. Because to be honest with you, I honestly believe that you would have more than likely have to go back into the bull market to find another ascending triangle pattern that is that bullish, that is that large. It's a pretty big ascending triangle pattern. The problem is Bitcoin at the very moment on the hourly chart is threatening to fall out of that ascending triangle pattern. You can see that we've been trading sideways, and we were in a symmetrical triangle pattern right here, which theoretically anyway should have given us a rally opportunity all the way back up to our recent local highs of 28,836. That didn't occur though. Instead, Bitcoin broke bearish out of this little symmetrical triangle pattern that we were building over the weekend. This got started being built the morning of Sunday, and just over the last couple of hours, we've broken bearish out of it, and we're moving down to 27,530, down to 27,549, which is where we are right now. So again, the question on everyone's mind at this very moment is whether or not Bitcoin will be able to hold above this blue uptrending level of support. Because if Bitcoin cannot hold above this blue uptrending level of support, then it will very likely fall back down to 25,236. And that means that our other prediction that we outlined right here would likely come true, at least not in timing, but at least in price, where Bitcoin would fall out of the ascending wedge and we'd end up having a bounce. Now, it's really funny. This chart right here, I drew this pattern right here. I drew this pattern right here, and I left it on the chart. I said, you know what, I'll leave this on the chart and we'll see how it plays out. The ascending wedge played out almost just perfectly according to what we said it would do. And then right around the time that I said it'd break bearish, we did break bearish. We just only broke bearish down to 26,526 instead of 25,236. So what we ended up doing is that we didn't break as far down to the downside as we thought. But what I was also predicting in this movement here was, yes, probably a steeper drop, but also a lot of sideways action here before we broke to the upside. And actually, if we were to go back to this pattern, this drawing that I drew here over 2 weeks ago, then you would see that I kind of predicted right around now we'd be moving to the upside. So that shows us that if Bitcoin is going to be able to hold this uptrending level of support, it could go through a major break to the upside. The problem is it doesn't really look like it's going to. And that's kind of funny timing because Bitcoin's falling below that right now. So that's where the title of this video comes from, is that massive rally right around the corner? The problem, guys, is that huge rally above 28,545, it is right around the corner. However, that corner is roughly $1,000 away. And by the way, if you want to know why I said we have a $5,000 rally right around the corner, I believe that the next price target, for a multitude of reasons that I can show you in a second, would be nearly $33,000. That would be a $5,500 rally. So that's where that $5,000 number comes from. I like to explain the title a little bit so that people don't think I'm just clickbaiting you. I do have a rhyme and a reason to why I put these numbers in the title. I don't just throw a number out there to get your attention. 32,935 represents the next major level of resistance that Bitcoin will face. And honestly, you could even argue that the transitionary zone does not end at 28,545, but it ends at 32,9. Which one is this? 32,935. That level again is the local level of support that we found on the 24th of January 2022. That would be our next level of resistance. We've dealt with 25,236. Now we're dealing with 28,545. The next level that we'll be dealing with is 32,935. So keep a weather eye out for that level of resistance. It's going to come very much in handy. Now, there's a few problems that are showing up here on the daily chart that I want to draw your attention to as well. One of them is the fact that we've seen a huge number of, not a huge number, but we're currently seeing a bearish engulfing candlestick formation form. If we see this play out and we see Bitcoin move into a downtrend here, and this downtrend does not close above $27,500 or so, right around that region, then you're going to end up seeing a bearish engulfing candlestick formation. That would definitely not be good news for the Bitcoin market, and that would likely lead Bitcoin further to the downside. Now, another thing to point out that is difficult right now for Bitcoin is that if you look at the Dixie, not difficult, that is good. If you're looking at the SPY, you can see the SPY is currently having somewhat of a rally. It attempted to go into a rally over the last couple of weeks. That rally failed miserably. We attempted to go into this rally right here. We ended up going through this correction that followed this parabolic downtrend, as you can see right there. The thing about a parabolic downtrend such as this, a curved downtrend such as this, is that eventually they end up curving straight down, and you literally just have to move forward in time, not even in price, to break through it. And that's what we're seeing happen. We're seeing a small breakout to the upside right now, and some people are finding that to be exciting. The problem is over on the stock market on the SPY's chart, you're also looking at this downtrending level of resistance that you can see right here. So the SPY, at least at the moment, is moving to the upside, and at least for the last week has been doing so. The last 2 weeks has been doing so. As you guys will know from some of the videos we uploaded, I made a video on this 3 weeks ago on Saturday. You can go back and watch that. That's the Fed's plan to, that's how the Fed is causing $17 trillion to vanish. In that video, I talk about how the stock market is likely to undergo a huge catastrophic unwinding as a result of the Fed doing quantitative tightening. Now, some of that has changed a little bit because the Fed has actually changed their monetary policy slightly, but that doesn't necessarily spell good news for the stock market either. While more quantitative easing in the short term could end up being not a good thing, this isn't a moral thing, but a somewhat bullish thing for Bitcoin, for the stock market, there are plenty of other factors that could send the stock market into a massive crash, such as a declining housing market, such as an unstable global economy, such as the rebasing of manufacturing plants all around the world. All right, let's go ahead and take a break from looking at the stock market for just a second because Bitcoin is currently below this uptrending level of support. And so, guys, this is where my concern was that I wanted to bring you in this video, because many people are thinking, oh my goodness, Bitcoin's up here at these massive levels, and they look at CoinMarketCap and they think, guys, look, Bitcoin is at $27,500. That's amazing. Surely Bitcoin is about to go through a huge rally. Surely Bitcoin is about to rally $5,000. The problem is, and this is what we've been talking about over the last week, is that Bitcoin hit an inflection point right here, and it just looks very obvious. If you watch Coffee and Crypto every day, you'll remember me talking about this. Bitcoin hit an inflection point. Before this point in time, Bitcoin was moving to the upside. After this point in time, Bitcoin has been generally moving to the downside. We do have a small uptrending level of support, but the problem is you have a downtrending level of resistance. And for any of you guys who know some more advanced technical chart formations, you will be familiar with this pattern. This is called a diamond pattern. This does indicate that you're going to have a lot of volatility, and depending on who you ask, this can be bullish or bearish. But what it does show you is that we are witnessing a huge constriction of volatility on Bitcoin, which means that the order books are getting very thick, which means the walls are getting very tall, which means that once you fall over that wall, there's a long way to go. And so once we break out of this trading zone, in between this downtrend right here and this uptrend right here, whenever Bitcoin does finally, and it will eventually break out of that zone, you are going to see the dogs of war break loose, and Bitcoin is going to move very quickly. The question now becomes, which direction does it break? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not too impressed with this uptrending level of support, but I am very hesitant about this downtrending. I am very much aware of this downtrending level of resistance. This downtrending level of resistance is pushing Bitcoin hard. And while I'd like to say, yes, Bitcoin is close to resistance and is going to break all the way up to 28,545, the fact of the matter is, guys, I don't see a whole lot of bullish factors coming in to save this correction that we're seeing on Bitcoin right now until we see the CPI data report come in. April the 12th is the day that it'll come in. In fact, I may have it drawn on this chart. Yes, I have it drawn right here. April the 12th, we're going to see another CPI data report come in. We're already roughly half of the way to the next CPI data report, but until we see that report come in, I would not be at all surprised to see some increased bearishness. Why? Well, very simply, guys, Bitcoin rallied from bottom to top $9,300 in the span of 13 days, not even, less than that. Bitcoin needs a correction. This is not a bad thing. Bitcoin has actually done a bullish positive note is that Bitcoin's done a lot of its correction through time. Many people forget a correction to reset the bullish and bearish pressure on the price action of Bitcoin. It does not have to be a correction to the downside in price. It can be a correction it can be a correction sideways in time, and normally in a two-dimensional chart, as you see here, the correction will take place in a diagonal. But a correction can take place vertically by moving straight down. You can correct all the distance that you need to in the span of an hour. I'll give you an example on that. On the daily chart, when the pandemic occurred, there was a correction necessary. Why? Because everybody was terrified that they were going to get the pandemic and they were no longer going to be around to invest in anything, so they sold their Bitcoin. Bitcoin corrected 50%, the entire correction, vertically in the span of about 5 hours. However, there have been other times where Bitcoin has corrected perfectly sideways, and it has not gone through any major drop in price action to correct its price and to allow, or not to correct its price, but to correct the strength of the bulls and the bears and allow for a rejuvenation of both factions. This is a good example right here, and there's many more of these examples in history. Bitcoin managed to go through a correction right here. You might say, well, what correction? Bitcoin didn't move to the downside. It doesn't have to. A correction can be in time as well. The resetting of the strength of the bulls and the bears can happen as a result of a vertical flash crash, sideways movement on the order of days, weeks, or months, although a lot of times it will take place in the downward into the right direction. What we've been seeing a lot of over the and there's different characteristics of both of those types of corrections, and that's why I bring them up. What we've been seeing quite a lot of over the last 2 weeks is a lot of sideways correction. And the reason that that's significant is because when you flash crash, that typically denotes quite a lot of FUD. That's your fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It typically denotes quite a lot of bad news. There's normally bad press that comes with a huge crash. We're talking about, for example, the FTX crash. We saw our entire correction take place right there, and then we also saw some of the correction take place in time. Whereas without the news, you probably would have seen Bitcoin maybe, if it even had to go this far, as a result of other fundamental factors that could have come into play, but are at the moment just placeholder that are just an example. If you hadn't have seen the news come in, Bitcoin would not have flash crashed. If Bitcoin needed to go down here, thus, Bitcoin would have likely traded downwards and sideways, which would have been this direction, such as this. However, because it was bad news, Bitcoin crashed immediately and then also corrected sideways. It accomplished the same thing. We got to the same point. We just took a different route. You see what I mean? Instead, we could have traded sideways here and then had the news come in there, but we'd already done a lot of the correcting that we needed here as well. The point being, there are multiple different ways that a correction can take place. Right now, Bitcoin is seeing a correction from this massive uptrend take place by moving in the sideways direction. That denotes that Bitcoin's bulls are still quite strong, and this is where some of the conclusions will come in for that part. That denotes that the Bitcoin bulls are still actually quite strong. It denotes that the bears do not have that much ammunition. It does, however, denote that the bulls have expended quite a lot of their strength and they are at the end of their supply lines. And it does also note that Bitcoin will potentially need a stronger correction simply because there's nothing else to rally it to the upside. Oftentimes, a sideways correction will be followed by a movement to the upside or the downside. However, and I'll give you an example of that. We saw that take place on a smaller time frame right over here. We saw mostly sideways action, but we did see a small little bit of downwards correction. Something similar may happen here. The reason being, oftentimes the price does need to be an element. Oftentimes the market does not just want to trade sideways in price and in time to reset and lock in its current levels, but it also wants to see a small price correction as well for the cause of allowing some people to get out of their trades and having just kind of that kick in the pants. Because if you trade sideways for 2 weeks, most people are going to say, okay, looks like we're going to stay up here. But there's always that itch in the back of their mind that I'm only going to participate in this correction if we see a price movement. And so a lot of times that price movement will come in to oblige those people. What does all of this mean? Well, again, I think this means that the bulls are actually quite strong. I do, however, also believe that it means that we probably will see somewhat of a price correction at some point in the next week, potentially even today, with the fact that we're falling out of this uptrending level of support as we speak. However, I do think that this, as I said, shows strength of the bulls. I do think it shows weakness of the bears, and I do think it also highlights the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of exuberance to move to the upside right now above 28,545 unless one of two things take place. Number one, we could see Bitcoin rally above 28,545 for some reason, and just that movement in its own right is enough of a fundamental factor to cause Bitcoin to go into a massive rally. Or we would be able to see Bitcoin going into a massive rally as a result of some other kind of extracurricular news event, such as, for example, the CPI data report coming in, or, for example, we have, let's say Bitcoin got adopted by the United States, what have you, it doesn't matter. So at this point, I do believe that you're going to need to see Bitcoin go through some kind of price action correction. And from there are a few different levels that Bitcoin could go to. That level could be, for example, $26,686. That is a local level of support that has been defined by this level back over here on Wednesday, the 22nd of March, during the year of 2023. Of course, this was a little over a week ago. This was actually 5 days ago. This was last Wednesday. That's a level that Bitcoin could correct back down towards. And then, of course, you also have $25,236. We'll just go ahead and set that level right here as blue. There are a few other levels that I'd want to bring to your attention. First and foremost, I want to show you that level of 26,686 is also corroborated by this local high that we set when we first punched into the 25,236 region. So that is a strong contender for where Bitcoin could correct down to. But then also, if you look at the daily chart and you look at Lux Algo, which, as we found out last Saturday, is a very powerful technical indicator, there is also the trend catcher sitting right there at 26,511, which is just ever so slightly below that region, which indicates that we could have a correction down to that level as well. Now, a couple of other things to keep in mind here are the daily charts, MACD and RSI. You can see, and this is one of the things that I drew this line on Friday to show you that probably by about Tuesday or Wednesday, you're going to end up seeing a difficulty with the MACD. The MACD is converging bearish on itself, and it's actually converging bearish on itself even faster than it was last week. We have to redraw this downtrend, and you can see that within the next 2 days, so Wednesday, as I just said, we're probably going to see a bearish MACD cross. If we see a bearish MACD cross, that is likely going to align with a large correction on Bitcoin. You can see that a similar thing took place both of the last times that we saw a bearish MACD cross. Bearish MACD cross took place here. We generally went into a downtrend. Of course, we were mostly trading sideways, as we talked about, but there was technically a downtrend there, and we did even see a sell signal. In this case, we saw a bearish MACD cross, and immediately Bitcoin went into a major correction. And in both cases, not long after, sell signals from Lux Algo flashed, which again, in a bull market is not a bad thing, but it is something to keep in mind because it does indicate a larger than average correction in price. If we do see a bearish MACD cross come into play here, thus over the next 2 to 3 days, which we probably will as a result of where Bitcoin's price is, it just needs to stay at 27,300 for MACD to cross bearish, by the way. For Bitcoin to not cross bearish on MACD, Bitcoin would need to go to at least 28,545 in at least the next 2 to 3 days to even have a hope of turning that around. So with that bearish MACD cross coming into play, Bitcoin is likely, therefore, going to go into a correction that will lead it back down to 25,236 within the next week and a half. So with that in mind, I will go ahead and update my prediction over here on this chart about what I think Bitcoin is going to do. And this is hard for me because I really like this chart and I don't want to go messing with it, but I'm going to. I'll show you what I believe is going to happen. So let's go ahead and delete this fateful prediction here that we had. I loved it. It served us well, but we're going to have to make a little bit of a change here. At this point, what I believe you're going to see happen is you're going to see a general downtrend here towards this level right around 25,236. I think you're going to bottom out somewhere right around here. It could happen sooner. It could happen later. In fact, something's telling me that I want this to be a little bit earlier. It could happen somewhere right in here, but then from there, with CPI report coming in, I think you'll see either some sideways trading taking place down here, and then a gradual run back up to 28,545 with the eventual April 12th CPI data drop coming in right here. So that's not exactly the cleanest, best looking prediction here, but I do think you're going to see the market do something akin to this. And that's not a bad thing, just so you know, guys. That is a very similar correction to what we've seen happen over the last several rally cycles that we've seen on Bitcoin. If we do manage to see Bitcoin going through this kind of correction, that is not a very bad thing at all, because it allows for Bitcoin to reset itself. It allows for the bulls to take some profit. It allows for the bears to be satisfied a little bit so that they don't act as bearish during the next major rally and leg up. And it allows for the people that are excited about Bitcoin to see that this rally is healthy, because what major institutional investors don't want to see is this. They don't want to see Bitcoin rallying nonstop with absolutely no rhyme or reason, with no technical structure, with no fundamental backing. But, well, excuse me, it did have fundamental backing, but no industry growth backing. This growth was mostly as a result of a flood of retail investors getting into the space. Elon Musk, Michael Saylor, and a huge amount of quantitative easing that then therefore led to a lot of the growth that we saw in NFTs and that we saw in other sectors such as the layer one ecosystem, as well as the dApps, the decentralized applications and decentralized exchanges ecosystem. But that growth was largely driven by quantitative easing, which everyone knew would be temporary. What the institutional investors would rather see, they would rather see growth in the space as a result of the space itself. They don't want to just see Bitcoin rallying because of bank collapse. They don't just want to see Bitcoin rallying because CPI dropped. They want to see Bitcoin rallying and the cryptocurrency market rallying as a result of intrinsic interest and development in the space itself. And so, if they do see Bitcoin going through a healthy correction here, then part of what they're looking for will come to pass. They will be looking for strong technical structure that their analysts can then use to make predictions about when Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, JP Morgan Chase, whoever you want it to be, can buy into Bitcoin and make trades in Bitcoin and investments in Bitcoin. They want to be able to offer Bitcoin as an investment product to their clients, but to do so, they need to have confidence that they can actually trade the markets and make money for their clients reliably. Otherwise, they're just going to be very unpopular with their clients when the clients give them 5% of their portfolio to put into Bitcoin, and they lose it because Bitcoin is not following a technical structure. We want Bitcoin to follow some kind of technical structure. It is a good thing for Bitcoin to go through a correction, and then it is a good thing for Bitcoin to rally as a result of fundamental news. I am excited about where Bitcoin stands right now, and I do believe that Bitcoin will have a very bullish month of April, but at this point, I do believe we have moved into the period of the CPI cycle that we have into the period of the CPI cycle that is most conducive to correction. You know how we have the halving cycles. I believe that we are also seeing something that I am probably going to dub the CPI cycles, and I will likely end up making a video about to show you guys the full effects of. But quite simply, in the very first third, you see, very similar to the halving cycles, you see large rallies. In the second third, you see sideways correction. In the final third, you see major correction. In the first third, you see major rally. In the second third, you see sideways action. The second third, you see major correction. And depending on how much of the time happens with rally and how much of the time happens with correction is almost entirely dependent upon the size of the CPI data drop. So here we saw a 0.6% drop, so much more of the time was spent in rally. Right here we saw only 0.1, so very little part of the time and the percentage movement took place in rallying. Here we saw 0.4, which is right in between these numbers, 0.1 and 0.6. So we ended up seeing somewhere in between the amount of time that we spent from the 0.1% rally and the 0.6% rally. Again, that's a video that I'm thinking about making. Tell me if you guys would be interested in that. That'd be a video talking about the CPI data dropping and how it impacts Bitcoin and how it may be the thing that drives us above 28,545 over the next couple of months. I do believe it will be one of the major factors. Now, with that theory in mind, again, I'd like to explore that in more detail in a future video. Bitcoin right now, and I believe ever since last Thursday, has been transitioning into our sideways accumulation phase, our sideways top accumulation zone that you might call it. That zone would look something like this. I will draw you a rectangle to denote it. I would say that that looks somewhere right in here. So Bitcoin could move through here faster or slower, but above 26,686, that's probably the zone that you're going to find, and then we will probably fall out of it, drop down here in the back third of the CPI cycle, and we will see Bitcoin drop down to between $24,000 and $25,236. And then when CPI data report comes in a couple of days before that, as a result of buy the rumor, you will see Bitcoin going through a major rally. So, to the title's point, $5,000 Bitcoin rally around the corner. In price, it is right around the corner. We need only rally about $1,500 to $1,700, and Bitcoin could go into a major bull market. I do believe breaking above 28,545 would be the first steps to going into a bull market. I think if you break above 32,935, that's where I would start saying that we are in a confirmed bull market as far as price action is concerned. If you remember the last week's video, the weekly chart the weekly chart Lux Algo actually already confirmed that we were in a long-term bull market. So if you have not seen that video, I would encourage you to go back and watch that video because a buy signal did just flash on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. It is now confirmed, and it is confirmed in a massive way as a result of this rally that just recently took place. That basically guarantees that we're going into a bull market unless something crazy happens, but that does not mean that we're going into a bull market this day, this week, or even this month. That can take another 6 months to a year to really begin playing out. So don't think that that means that we're going into a bull market tomorrow, but over the next year, I think that means that we're going to be definitely going into a bull market. If you have not seen that video, again, I would encourage you to go back and watch it. That video looks like this. I'll just show you really quickly here. That video is right here. A perfect indicator calls a $70,000 Bitcoin, and in brackets it says Lux Algo. That indicator I call perfect for that circumstance. No indicator is perfect everywhere, but on the weekly chart, as you can see in that video, Bitcoin has literally never been called bullish on the weekly chart with a confirmed buy signal, and that buy signal not actually lead to a massive rally on Bitcoin. The smallest rally of them all was 60%, and that took place right here, but we were already actually at the top of the market. So anyway, long term, Bitcoin looks great. It looks absolutely phenomenal. We love to see where Bitcoin is right now. However, if you want my analysis for what the next 2 weeks look like, I do believe you're going to see a small correction that will drop Bitcoin down to between 25,236 and 26,686. That will necessitate at least an $800 drop on Bitcoin, probably more like a $1,500 drop on Bitcoin. From there, I believe that Bitcoin will end up bouncing and rallying, and that movement will look something a little bit like this. Again, this is a little bit sloppy. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the way this looks, but this is honestly the best way that I can describe what I think is going to occur. I think you're going to see a drop down to 26,586 and then fall below it, down here to around 25,236, then bounce up, retest that level of resistance, break above it, use it as support, and then break up to 28,545 and break up to and beyond that, moving into the beginning weeks of this coming April. Could we see another April 1st rally? Absolutely, we could. All right, so what happens from there if we break above 28,545 in mid-April? Well, a few things will be very important. First and foremost, you will have this EQ cloud continuing to rally, and while it may start to converge on itself ever so slightly, it probably won't do very much because we are still so far above the EQ cloud. Even though they should theoretically be converging on themselves, they will the EQ cloud will likely continue to move to the upside. By the way, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can't get to 500 likes here before the stream wraps out. So the EQ cloud will be coming up here to provide support, which will help us to establish the market above 25,236. Because right now we're still in foreign territory. Right now we have not really built the supply lines. We have not really built the command and control infrastructure to support our army of bulls above 25,236. What we require, therefore, is to guarantee this region that we have thus broken into by building new supply lines, by building command and control infrastructure, by building surface to air missile sites to defend our position up here above 25,236. And one of the ways that we can do that is by allowing the EQ cloud to come in as our support. We've got the cavalry behind us. Now, normally they're in the front, but the cavalry's behind us right now, and we'd like them to come in to give us that support to establish this as the territory that the bulls have claimed during this war for bull market independence. Now, a couple of things that are tricky with that, of course, are the RSI and the MACD. We've already spoken on those, but a month from now, what I think you might be seeing is that the MACD will have already had a correction. The MACD will then probably go through something like this. Then that MACD is likely going to end up having a bullish cross. I'd say probably around the end of the first week of April. So probably the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, April the 8th and the 9th, Saturday the 8th. Or the 9th. From there, when you see that MACD cross come into play, that will therefore likely align with this bounce off of 25,236 that we'll be witnessing. RSI will probably have fallen down and bounced off of 50. So you'll probably see an RSI bounce off of 50 right around here. You'll probably see a MACD cross right around here, and that will lead the market to the upside. You'll then also have the EQ cloud coming into play. I don't think you'll see a sell signal on Lux Algo, but if you do, that sell signal will probably not get confirmed because the market won't be far enough below trend catcher to confirm it. It's possible it does. If it does, then you'll probably see a sell signal, a buy signal come in and get confirmed right here in the second week of April. From there, breaking above 28,545, you will probably see Bitcoin break up into in fact, the reversal zone would probably do something like this. You'd probably be breaking up into the reversal zone, and frankly, from there, with how much exuberance comes out of CPI data drops, you'd probably see Bitcoin rally all the way to the next side of the EQ of the reversal zone, and you would likely see Bitcoin rally all the way up to probably about $30,000 to $33,000. That price target I would give a zone for right around here. And this is a pretty precise prediction that I'm making here. So tell me if you guys agree with it. I normally don't go into this much detail in my predictions. I normally want to, but it's a little bit hard to tell. But with the way that the CPI cycles are coming into play, this does make this a lot easier to track. So my prediction for Bitcoin in April is somewhere in this box between $30,000 and $33,000. That is kind of dependent on at least a 0.3% drop on CPI. So keep that in mind. BLS.gov/CPI, a technical analyst for Bitcoin's favorite chart. If we drop by 0.3%, which is possible, but that'll probably be the last time that you see a drop that large, then Bitcoin will likely end up going through a pretty large rally and then breaking up into that zone. If you only see a 0.1% rally, then you need to make all of these predictions that I just gave you quite a bit more conservative, and you'd probably see Bitcoin maybe rallying to 28,545 again. Maybe it set a new local high above $29,000. But you may have difficulty actually breaking that much farther to the upside. Regardless, I do think you'll set new local highs. I do think you'll set new massive local lows. And in doing so, you will end up seeing Bitcoin going through a rally that if you're a trader, you can trade. And if you're an investor, you should be excited about, because it could be the beginning stages of a bull market. Guys, one of my favorite things that I use every single day on Bitcoin's technical analysis is Lux Algo. You've just seen how I have used it in our technical analysis here, how the EQ cloud is going to be very important, how the trend catcher is going to be very important, how the signals are going to be very important, how the reversal zones are going to be very important. I didn't even show you the like 5 other indicator packages in Lux Algo, or the other 80% of this part of Lux Algo. There's about 95% of Lux Algo that you have not seen in today's episode, and it's all amazing. It's my favorite indicator, bar none, hands down, flat out. It is amazing, and if you want to see a video where I show you how it has a perfect track record on the weekly chart of calling bull markets, then make sure to go back and watch our video that we uploaded on Saturday. That video is titled How a Perfect Indicator Will Send Bitcoin to $70,000, and it says Lux Algo in brackets. The reason that video says a perfect indicator is because on the weekly chart, 8 times in history, now a 9th time, have we seen a buy signal flash on Lux Algo. All 8 of those times in history that it's ever flashed, Bitcoin has rallied no less than 60%. Normally, it's rallied over 100%, and we've just seen another buy signal come into play over just the last couple of weeks. That has been confirmed over the last couple of weeks. It came into play in December, but it actually got confirmed about 2 weeks ago. Lux Algo has a remarkable track record. That's why we made that video. You should go watch that video, but you should also make sure to sign up for Lux Algo. You can use coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, for 20% off with the link in the description box down below. Make sure you get it if you have not gotten it already. All right, let's read some chat. Like I said, I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. And I hope you guys are enjoying those Saturday and Sunday videos. You guys definitely make sure to tell me what you think about those. Sounds like you guys are really, really enjoying them. All right, let's read some chat. All righty. Meek Vision said, Buenos dias. Buenos dias, ¿cómo está? Wisely T said, no worries, Jebb. God bless your family and daughter. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rafael Miranda said, when she comes, Bitcoin will break resistance. Probably. That's probably exactly what's going to come. Baby will come when baby comes. Yes, the baby's on her own schedule right now. She's making it up as she goes. By the way, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can't get to 500 likes before we wrap the stream out. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, Jeremy Shorter in chat said, good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning to you too, Jeremy Shorter. Randomness said, I hope Bitcoin drops. I'm not done accumulating. I think there's a lot of people in your position right now, my friend. I think it's more of a diamond top than a descending triangle pattern. Well, it's not a descending triangle pattern. It's an ascending triangle pattern, at least from the way that I'm looking at it. But I think it is a diamond top. A market can be multiple different formations at the same time, and I believe it is a diamond top. There's also an ascending triangle pattern in play, but we're kind of breaking bearish out of it right now. Cajun Crypto said, amen. Not sure what you're saying amen to, but amen. Amen indeed. NFT Shell said, destroy the like button, guys. Let's show Jebb some love. Oh, I read that this morning, earlier, but thank you. All right. Hashtag, Justin Eubank said, hashtag FinSolve. Queen said, hashtag FinSolve and Bedrock present. Absolutely. Also have a never-ending cold. Many friends too. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe the end of the world. Who knows? JoJo's in chat said, hello, good morning. Happy Monday. I think it's just pollen because you can, like around our house and around the building here that I'm in, you just look around and there's just piles of pollen. It's like you can see it. It's that thick. Crypto Surge said, what if the baby is about to come in your live stream? Are you just going to leave? Yeah. I'm going to say, all right, bye all, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to run that, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to say, bye. See you guys in a few days, or technically our plan is to take about 2 weeks off of streaming. That's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to be streaming a few days after she's here. We'll see. Of course, there's a lot that goes into having a newborn. And of course, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my wife as well as I can. I'm hoping that we're not going to have that much of a disruption to content, but yes, if we think we're going into labor, we got to go. I'll see you in a little bit. Now, luckily, I can stream on my phone, so maybe I'll do like a 10 or 15 minute stream on my phone every once in a while. But I'm hoping to bring back Coffee and Crypto in its regularly scheduled format as quickly as possible after the baby gets here. But yes, if we have to go in the middle of stream, I am definitely not against leaving in the middle of stream to run to labor and delivery, which luckily we're 5 minutes from the hospital. Here at the office. Shadrach Frost is in chat. Said, good morning, Jebb and chat. Happy Monday. Indeed. Happy Monday. Thank you, guys. Robert Casanova said, good Monday morning, everyone. Indeed. Let's see. Shooting star showing on the daily chart for yesterday. Also an indecision candle for Saturday. Bearish RSI showing as well. We should pull back some at Crypto Jebb. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I agree. Let's see. Colin McDonald in chat said, hi, Jebb and all. Jebb, who cares? Right. I think I said something about who cares. I don't remember what that was. So you'll have to remind me. Yes, 25K. 25 on the way I'm selling. I'm not saying for certain it's going to drop down to 25. I'm not. Crypto Crabman said, it's not a crash until we get below 25K. Calm down, people. I would agree with that. I think I'd agree with that. I think I would agree with that. You're num eno, Jebb. You mean you're numero uno? I'm not sure what num eno means. Enjoyed your weekend streams, Jebb. I mean the videos. I hope you did. Thank you so much. Just joined the stream. Would love to know your opinion on the Coinbase situation. I currently have some of my trading portfolio on Coinbase. Should I move to another exchange? I think you should keep money off of exchange as much as you possibly can. And be very, very careful about keeping money on exchange. That's what I'll say on that. Let's see. The Classic IT guy said, hello, Jebbites. Hello, Classic IT guy. Jebb of the top rope with a massive BTC elbow to the chops of the charts. Smash the like button like a coin. I'm not sure what you're saying, but yes, hit the like button, Freedom Prospector. Thank you. Coming in late, watching 1.5x. Dang, Jebb speaks fast, lol. Yeah, there's a song that I used to learn. I said, who cares is a healthy correction. Yes, that's probably what I said. Yeah, there's a song called The Elements Song by Tom Lehrer that I used to sing to myself, and I think it helped me to speak very quickly. In high school, there were a bunch of different songs I listened to, and they all involved, talking very quickly, and so I think that's where I learned to talk quickly. So if you'd like to hear a bit of that song, then I can tell you. It's literally called The Elements by Tom Lehrer, and the song is just all the elements of the periodic table that had been discovered in the 1950s. And I used to be able to just sing it really fast in high school before I ever started the YouTube channel. And maybe that helped. Maybe that helped me talk fast. Who knows? Stay by Bruno Info said, hi, Jebb. I watch your stream. I watch you every afternoon from Madrid, Spain. Thanks for sharing your work. Do you think it is possible for any top 3 altcoins to do a 30x? And any thoughts on VRA? Thanks. I'm not familiar with Vera, but what I will say is I think there's a lot of coins in the top 30 that could 30x. Absolutely. I think Bitcoin could 30x. For Bitcoin to 30x, that would send it to $1 million. I think you will see $1 million Bitcoin eventually. Unlike that dude from Coinbase, I don't think you're going to see $1 million Bitcoin this year. I think you could see it this decade. Maybe. That's a stretch, but maybe this decade. Realistically, probably the mid-2030s. I think Cardano could 30x. I think Ethereum could 30x. I think... my coin market cap reset itself again. I think that you could see... I could see Polkadot 30xing. Unfortunately, I can see Dogecoin 30xing. I really hope it doesn't, because that would be a $300 billion Dogecoin, and that'd just be a terrible place to park $300 billion. But anyway... I'm My Hero said, smart people tend to talk quickly because their mind works quickly. Maybe I'm just so dumb that I circled around to talking quickly, because I'm not sure I fit in that camp. I like Gandhi in Civilization 4 when he circled around from being so passive to super aggressive and he uses nukes. Who's ever heard of Nuclear Gandhi? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I just got so stupid that I ended up talking quickly. CBD Suddy's in chat said, good morning, Jebb. Good morning to you as well, CBD Suddy. Hi, Jebb. Good afternoon from the United Kingdom. Good afternoon to you as well. Weird Al said he saw Daniel Radcliffe sing that song, and he knew he was the one. Okay. I had a guy in college walk up to me. People have told me for a long time that I look like Harry Potter. I don't see it. But I had one guy walk up to me in college, and he just skipped straight to the point. He didn't even tell me I look like Harry Potter. He told me I look like Daniel Radcliffe. And I said, thanks. I will never forget that. Dr. Gavin Wood, not till after the regulators. Yep, the Classic IT guy said get a Ledger. Absolutely, totally agree with that. I think Ledger's a great product. 2 kids, us exponentially harder than 1. Good to know, thank you. Freedom Advocate said, I talk slow, so I make sure people understand what I'm saying with clarity. Yeah, there's really a lot of benefit to both. It kind of comes down to what you're doing, because there's plenty of things that, there's plenty of times, believe it or not, where I actually speak pretty slowly for exactly the reason that Freedom Advocate said. Stream doesn't tend to be one because of the way YouTube works. People want to get information very quickly. People can normally download information much faster than they can speak information. So if I speak information very quickly, then people can typically follow along. And they like that because it ends up being much more engaging, and it ends up helping on the YouTube algorithm. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have said, Jebb, you talk too quick. You need to slow down. I talk very quickly on YouTube, partially because it's kind of how I talk. I don't always talk this way, but also because it actually helps people enjoy the content. So there's a bit of a strategy to it. Let's see. Hey, Jebb, thanks for all your help. Crypto Leaf Bags said, thank you. CBD Study said, burn up the forest floor and hit that bedrock. Absolutely. Do it. The Classic IT guy said, have a blessed day, everyone. You too, Classic IT guy. I'm My Hero said, I talk fast. You just get used to the long pause to let people process what you said. Oh. Yeah, fair enough. Queen said, bedrock present. Hispanics gave the thumbs up. I do enjoy talking to you guys in chat. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. You guys should definitely go watch that song. It's called The Elements Song by Thomas Lehrer. He's got a few other funny songs as well about nuclear war, because, again, this was a man that was singing in the 50s. And he's got a, and we'll all, what was it? And we'll all sing Chinese when they get the bomb. That's what it was. SpongeBob SquarePants said, who can make the sun shine? The Gandhi man. There you go. Somebody got the reference. There we go. Phil McCracken said, just turn up or down playback in settings. There you go. Absolutely. Freedom Advocate said, when you talk slower, you can think about what you say before you say it too. That's why I normally, if I'm talking about anything that could be provocative, I slow down very much so. Greetings from Iraq. Thank you for all your info and knowledge sharing. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to our viewers from Iraq. Sally C. Borg said, yo, what's your stream name, Jebb? Got to squad up with the boys. What's my stream name? It's Jebb. Crypto Jebb. That's my street name. Tommy Natrix M8 said, CRO to the moon. Hispanic said, fast talking equals more content per minute. Exactly. You can normally download content much faster than you can upload it. That's one of the... Elon Musk has actually talked about that from stage one time. When he was talking about Neuralink, people speak and type much slower than they can download information. You can read 100 words a minute. You can probably read like 500 to 1,000 words a minute. You cannot even come close to typing or speaking. Well, maybe speaking, but a lot of times you cannot come even close to creating that much content that quickly, but also exporting that much content out of your brain. So one of the ways that you can combat that is by speaking very quickly, because speaking is one of the ways, and body language are two of the ways that you can very quickly convey information. So that's very important. All right, guys, before we go, I do just want to go ahead and mention that looks like what we were talking about is coming to pass. It's always funny when I make a prediction and before the stream's over, it ends up happening. As I said, I thought Bitcoin would probably end up, and we'll go a few minutes over here because Bitcoin's moving. As I said here, Bitcoin was likely going to break this uptrending level of support and pull back down to 26,686. That is currently where it is right now. Bitcoin is broken bearish. Again, as somebody said in chat, this would not constitute, in my mind, as a crash. Bitcoin could drop another $1,500, and I still wouldn't call it a crash because I think Bitcoin would have to drop below 25,236 for this to really be a big crash. I think we're still in correction. But this does show us that this ascending triangle pattern that we had drawn here and the ascending triangle pattern that we had drawn here, those are now invalid, and instead we're seeing a lot of sideways movement in here, which is one step in the bearish direction. Next point of Next level to look out for would be the 26,686, which will likely come under fire relatively soon because on the 1 hourly chart, just in the last 10 seconds, we confirmed a sell signal on the 1 hourly chart, and on the 4 hourly chart, we're probably going to be getting there pretty soon. So yes, on the 4 hourly chart, we just fell through the EQ cloud. It's converging bearish on itself. We saw a strong sell signal. We very likely may see trend catcher turn red on the next candlestick. And we've also seen a bearish MACD cross on 4 hourly chart with RSI dropping below 50. Quite a lot of bearish things coming into play right now. If the hourly chart and 4 hourly chart close down here, then, well, the hourly chart candlestick for last hour did just close down here. But if you see another hourly chart candlestick close down here and the 4 hourly chart candlestick close down here, then you're going to end up seeing quite a lot of bearishness. That 4 hourly chart candlestick only has another 58 minutes until it closes. So guys, we are over time, so I'm not going to be able to keep going here for right now, but we will talk about this more in the upcoming video. As I said, we have a prediction of Bitcoin dropping down quite substantially as a result of our technical analysis. And a lot of things like that. Silas E. Borg said, what's your Steam name, Jebb? I am very sorry. Silas E. Borg, I have over 10,000 hours on games on Steam. I know exactly what Steam is and who Gabe Newell and everything. I'm very familiar with that space. I thought you said stream name. I'm sorry. What's my Steam name? I don't have one anymore because I actually went cold turkey and deleted my Steam account about 2 years ago because I was putting so much time into it. And a month later, I met the love of my life who became my wife, Sarah. And I was very happy that I was not spending so much time playing video games because I was able to put all of that time into my relationship with her. So it was, the Lord really used that. He was very, not that I have anything wrong with video games, by the way. I know I've upset a lot of people in the last couple of months by people thinking I have something against video games. I don't. I just want to put my time into other things like my family. And that's not me looking down on anybody. I really wish I did have time for some gaming. Yeah. No, I know what you mean, Silas E. Borg. I just misread that. I'm very, very sorry. It was Hidden Dragon is what it was. That's what it was. That's what it was on Unturned and on Civilization 5 and 6 and in Stellaris and in all of the games I played. Have you played Escape from Tarkov? Never played it. Always wanted to. I don't really play shooters anymore, just for, conviction reasons. Yeah, Escape from Tarkov is a very well-made game. That's what I will say, and I definitely wanted to play it. Freedom Advocate said, love of my life, you became my wife. Absolutely. Say that 3 times fast. Love of my life, who became my wife. Love of my life, who became my wife. Love of my life, who became my wife. There you go. All right, guys. I'm going to have to wrap it out. Really do appreciate all of you guys tuning in. As I said, though, I'm going to have to go ahead and go. But before I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, hitting the post notification bell, signing up for Lux Algo, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.